guys, it is Teenage Marvel Fan back with another video, and in today's video I will be doing a movie review for Captain Marvel. Um, Now I know that this movie came out like March 8th or something like that, so most of you have seen it by now, but for those of you that have not seen it and want to avoid spoilers, then do not watch this video because this video will be filled with spoilers, and you may be asking, why am I posting a Captain Marvel review in June when it came out back in March? That's because I just watched it for the first time a couple days ago, because I can't afford to see every movie in theaters. So yeah. So on to my first topic of the movie. I don't know why everybody's hating this so much. I mean, like, I get that some people hate it just because of Brie Larson. I like it because of Brie Larson because, she's super hot, but, that's just my opinion. But I mean, there's also things that she said that people don't like. And then also people are saying that it's like, oh, Captain Feminism. Yeah, it's like girl power and stuff like that, but it's not like super bad. Like, it kind of makes the movie better. Kind of. So yeah, basically everybody says that this is a trash movie, but it's honestly a really great movie. I think it would actually be in my top 10 when it comes to Marvel movies for the MCU. Let me know down in the comments below if you want me to do a video telling you what my top 10 movies in the MCU are, because I'd be happy to do that. I'd probably wait and do it after Spider-Man Far From Home, because, just to round out the year and stuff like that. But anyway, next up I want to talk about Stan Lee, the tribute that they did with the intro. So you know how, like, in every Marvel movie they have that intro that, it's like a montage of all the movies. Well, for Captain Marvel they did the same thing, but with Stan Lee doing a montage of all his cameos. So that was a really nice tribute. And then, of course, his cameo was good too. He didn't talk on screen like we heard him talking while he was off screen, but when it actually showed him on screen, he just smiled. So that was nice. And he was reading his script and practicing his line for Mallrats, which it is a movie that he was in the 90s. And of course, Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s. So that was a nice reference. So that was pretty good. Now, talking about the Kree-Skrull War, I think they did this pretty well. It wasn't what I expected. I didn't expect the Skrulls to be good and the Kree... Well, I expected the Kree to be bad, but I didn't know that the Skrulls would be good. I thought they would just both be bad. But I actually had that spoiled for me before I saw the movie because, just watching it in June, a lot of this stuff was spoiled for me. But even though the Skrulls were good, I feel like it didn't ruin their characters. Like, the way that they portrayed them in the movie, it still made them cool. And I liked the way that they shapeshifted. And the Talos even said that, like, it takes practice and even a little talent or something like that. But now, as I do in every one of my movie reviews, I'm going to start talking about specific characters. So starting off, of course, with Captain Marvel. I liked her story. I liked that it showed her origin, so she got her powers from the Tesseract. That was nice, a nice way to tie it into everything. Although, one thing about the Tesseract that kind of didn't make sense to me is, so Captain America, the First Avenger, that took place during World War II, and World War II was in the 70s, right? Like, it was before the 90s anyway. So, during Captain America, the First Avenger, when Steve went into the ocean, the Tesseract went with him, and then that's why in the first Avengers movie, that when they found Cap, they found the Tesseract. So then in this movie, how is the Tesseract just up in Mar-Vell's, like, space lab? Like, how did it go from being in the ocean to up there, and then, um, in in the Avengers movie, it's just back back in the bottom of the ocean, and then Nick Fury gets it back. So that was kind of weird. And then Goose just threw it up on Fury's desk in one of the post-credit scenes, but whatever. So that kind of didn't make sense to me. But back to what I was saying about Captain Marvel, I think she was a great character. They did something kind of similar to Doctor Strange, I think. Like in the first Doctor Strange movie, like Doctor Strange was cool, but you didn't really see him use his full ability of his powers. But then we saw him in Infinity War, and he was like amazing. Like he was so awesome. So maybe that's what they're doing here. Like Captain Marvel didn't actually use her powers and like her photon blast too much in this movie. So maybe the next time we see her, she'll be even cooler. Well, when we saw her in Endgame, for the little time that she was in it, she was pretty OP. But moving on to the next character, Nick Fury. I was cool with Nick Fury, but it just didn't feel like the Nick Fury we know. I realized that this is supposed to be like the 90s version of Nick Fury, but it's almost like a completely different character. Like this guy is like cheerful and full of joy and happy. And then the Nick Fury we know in the present, like he still makes jokes and stuff, but he's always serious. Oh, and then the way he lost his eye, Goose just scratched it out. That was kind of stupid. It would have been a lot cooler if he lost it to a Skrull, or maybe one of the Kree, because in the Winter Soldier, I believe, when he was asked about his eye, he said, I trusted someone I shouldn't have, or I trusted the wrong person. So that would make sense with a Skrull. Like, he trusted someone, but then he found out that they were a Skrull, so then they scratched his eye out or whatever. Like, that would have been a lot cooler, but no, Goose just scratched it out, and then they're back to being friends. That was kind of weird. Talos, or, well, I guess in the movie they actually call him Talos. It's just weird to say it like that for me, so I'm just gonna call him Talos. So, even though he's not a villain, I like that he wanted to go to the Mar-Vell's space lab, not because he wanted to get the Tesseract, because he wanted to be reunited with his family. And he was really just doing everything for the better of the Skrulls, and he just wanted his people to be safe. So that was really cool. I don't know, maybe we'll see him in the future at some point, possibly in the next Captain Marvel movie, or if they end up doing a Secret Invasion storyline, possibly he'll be involved with that. Although he is a good guy, so maybe, like, if they do Secret Invasion, or more like when they do Secret Invasion, because they pretty much gotta have it, because it's an awesome storyline. But maybe it'll be his daughter that's the evil one, because in the Secret Invasion storyline in the comics, Veronk, I think that's how you pronounce it. I used to call her Veranke, because that's just how it's spelled. Veranke. So I used to call her Veranke, but I think it's Veronk. She was the one that led the Secret Invasion, so maybe Talos' daughter is Veronk, and when she grows up, she's going to hate the humans, or, like, everybody like that, and, start the Secret Invasion. like or maybe her father will die because of a human or something like that. So then that'll drive her crazy. So yeah, I think that is a great setup for a possible future. Now on to Yon-Rogg, the true villain of the movie. By the way, that final battle scene was very short and kind of stupid. Like, she just blasted him once and then he was, like, out. Like, there was no real fight. She just blasted him with a photon blast and that was it. And then she sent him back to, Hala. So maybe we'll see him again, maybe we won't. But it's cool. So there was a deleted scene that involved him going to see the Supreme Intelligence, and of course, when you see the Supreme Intelligence, you see the person that you admire most. So in this deleted scene, the person he admired the most was himself. So what he was seeing was himself, but with white hair for some reason. So before I saw the movie, I saw a picture of that deleted scene, and I thought it was part of the movie. So I thought that there was going to be two Yon-Roggs. So I came up with a theory where I was like, oh, what if... So I know that one of them is Yon-Rogg, but what if the other one is Mar-Vell and they're like twin brothers or something? I think that would have been pretty cool. But also the way that they did Mar-Vell was pretty cool too. Maria Rambeau, she was a cool character. She wasn't in it very much, but the parts that she was, like when she was flying the plane or the Quinjet or whatever, she was pretty cool there. Her daughter, that's setting up for the future because Monica Rambeau could always become Photon in the future because that's what happened in the comics. Agent Coulson, he wasn't in it very much either, but the parts that he was, I like that they established that he was like a new agent at S.H.I.E.L.D., and you could tell that he really trusted Nick because he let Nick and Carol go when his order was to stop them and bring them in or capture them. But he trusted Nick Fury, so that sets up for the future when they're like best friend agents. Well, I don't really know if they're best friends, but whatever. Now the Supreme Intelligence / Mar-Vell / Wendy Lawson. That's a lot to talk about. So starting off with the Supreme Intelligence part of it. So I like the way that they went with this. That nobody has seen the true version of the Supreme Intelligence. It's just whoever you most admire is who you see when you're talking to the Supreme Intelligence. So that always leaves the option open in the future for them to actually show us the giant floating green head in a jar, which I think would be awesome to see in a movie. That might be in the sequel or something. But her being Mar-Vell, Annette Bening did a great job. Did a great job as all three of these characters. So I didn't see the Mar-Vell twist coming because, like I said, I thought that Yon-Rogg was had like a twin brother that was Mar-Vell or something, and that would have been cool too. But this was pretty interesting, and it was very similar to the comics where Mar-Vell was a traitor to the Kree. I don't really know too much about Captain Marvel, like comic books and stuff like that, so I didn't know too much about Mar-Vell. Because at one point he was Captain Marvel, and he was like a fully established character, and then Carol took on the role of Captain Marvel after he died. So then, I thought that if they would have had Mar-Vell in this movie, that he would have been he, and that it would have been like a fully established Captain Marvel character, kind of. But now Mar-Vell's dead, but they could always use her in flashbacks. And then the whole Wendy Lawson thing. Well, technically Wendy Lawson and Mar-Vell are the same person. But that's pretty cool. So yeah, I like the way that they did that whole part there. Now, talking about Minerva, which is one of the members of Star Force, the blue lady with the blue hair, like the sniper lady. So she died. Her death was very meaningless because when she died, I didn't even notice that she died. And then I was watching a YouTube video about the movie, and then they mentioned Minerva dying, and I was like, wait, what? Minerva died? I watched the movie, and I didn't know that she died. So then I searched a video of her death scene, and yeah, if you weren't paying attention, and if you didn't know that she died, then you wouldn't have noticed, because I didn't. Yeah, her ship just blew up. But nothing too big there. But apparently, in the comics, she's a big Captain Marvel villain, and I think that's setting up for that, because I guess she dies and is reborn or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know anything about that. But the rest of Star Force was pretty cool. Korath was awesome. By the way, I really like their suits. Like that shade of metallic green that they used for their suits was just super awesome. And then the weapons that they used, they each had their own special weapon. Like I said, Minerva had the sniper gun. Carol, or Vers, was, well, of course, her hands, her photon blasts. Brawn Char had these gauntlet things. And Atlas had, like, just 2 pistols, I think. He was also a sniper type person. Now, talking about Ronan, he was barely in this movie, and pretty much the whole part that he was in this movie was in the trailer. So maybe we'll see him in the second movie. But he did nothing in this. All he did was stand there. He was on a ship. He was standing there. He shot some missiles at Captain Marvel. She effortlessly destroyed them, and then was like, "Hey, you want me to fight you?" or something like that. It was nowhere close to that. That was nothing like what she said, but yeah, we'll just go with that. Ronan was just a disappointment in this. Other than his outfit was like comic accurate, and it was really awesome because, like I said, I love that metallic green. But then Goose, of course, is one of the best characters. He's played by Reggie the Cat. That's a nice little fun fact. I knew that he was a Flurkin, but I really like the way that they portrayed him on screen. Like with the whole Flurkin thing, I liked that how they had the tentacles coming out of his mouth, and like he was just such an awesome character. Like he's just a cat, but he's an alien cat that has like squid tentacles that shoots out of his mouth. How awesome is that? Answer: very. So, but yeah, like I said, it was really stupid that that Goose was the reason that that Nick Fury lost his eye. I don't know about the future of Goose, because the last time we saw him was in the post-credit scene for, for the movie, of course, when he was on Nick Fury's desk and he threw up the Tesseract. So that means that he didn't go with Captain Marvel, and we haven't seen him in any other movies. So where has he been since that post-credit scene? Has he just been in S.H.I.E.L.D. somewhere? And S.H.I.E.L.D. It doesn't really even exist anymore because, Hydra invaded it in The Winter Soldier. I mean, it exists on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, but that's like a secret S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah, so I don't really know about his future going forward. But then the other post-credit scene, of course, it was setting up Avengers Endgame, but Endgame is already out. I've seen it, so it makes sense. Would have made a lot more sense if I saw it before I saw Endgame. It also would have made sense if that scene was actually in Endgame. But basically, like, all you find out from the movie is that the Avengers find that pager from Nick Fury, and then they're trying to contact whoever he was trying to contact, which of course is Captain Marvel. So then she shows up, and then that is why in Endgame, Captain Marvel shows up to rescue Tony, because of course she knew where he was because the Avengers told her, and they needed someone to go rescue him. And that's also why the Avengers didn't act confused when she came back with Tony, like they fully knew him. That was something I didn't understand while watching the movie, because I was like, wait, how does she just know them already? They've never met, but they have. Like I said, still don't know where Goose is. And there's always a setup for Secret Invasion, like Easter eggs and setups in this movie. So that's awesome. But yeah, this movie is really underrated. Everybody hates it, says it's a trash movie, but I love it. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video so I can bestow all my Marvel knowledge upon you.